Hi everyone, pleased to meet you if I don't know you, and if I do know you, nice to see you again. My name's Nicol. I'm the Area Regeneration Officer for 3 areas of the city, which are Washington, Coalfields and the East area. I'm here to talk about the Strategic Initiatives budget. Has anybody heard of it in the room? Yeah? It's alright then. I'll just give a little bit of a background for those who haven't. SIB was established in 1996 with basically 2 points. The first one was to deliver the priorities which were identified in the local area regeneration framework, and the second part was to try and attract other funding in the area to match with the SIB application. For those of you that don't know, the City Council has split the city into 6 different areas, so we've got 6 different regeneration areas. And then from that, each one will have an area committee. And that area committee sort of consists of your ward councillors. So when you have your elections, the people you are electing will sit on that area committee, and they sort of control and approve the SIB applications. Each area committee has approximately, well, a minimum, of £200,000 a year to reward the different community groups, voluntary groups, or even statutory sectors in that area. The only sort of, I suppose, thing to mention about the SIB budget, just in case you're thinking of applying, is that it's only approved on an annual basis. So every April, our city treasurer will say, this is how much money you've got for this year, and then next April it'll be, this is how much you've got for next year. So if you are putting or considering putting funding applications for the next 2 or 3 years funding, just be aware that it's subject to getting funding from the city treasurer, because sometimes it mightn't happen. So just to go through applying for SIB, it's administered by the Chief Executive's Department, which is who I work for, and each area committee will have what's known as an AERO, so think of chocolate, AERO, and that's sort of our initials for Area Regeneration Officers. At the moment there's only 2 of us, because my colleague Sue Bartlett actually left to become self-employed, so congratulations Sue. And Richard Parry looks after the north, south and west, and those are our contact details up on there. So what will happen is that if you believe you wanted to apply for SIB, you would come and speak to us. That can either be face-to-face, phone call, email, whichever method you prefer, and then we'll sort of discuss whether or not it's suitable to go for application. If we believe it is, you'll get sent what's known as an expression of interest form, which is basically a 2-page application, very simple, that sort of indicates in 100 words what basically it is you're wanting to deliver with the SIB funding. And then what happens is when we get that back, we've got to go out and consult with all our directorates and the area chair of the area committee to see whether or not it actually complies or conflicts with our other directorates' agendas. But also, in looking like that, it might be an opportunity for that directorate to actually think, well, I really like that project, I want to give it support, and this is how we can do it. So it's sort of about linking all them services together. If after that consultation exercise is held, that information comes back and makes it look positive, that this is a really strong application, we'll ask them to go to stage 2, which is the full application. And that's about 10 pages long. It asks about, I'd say about 16 different questions, but the questions can be a little bit in-depth. But we can help you through that process. Once the application's returned, it goes out again to the directorates for consultation to see again if it's complementing their directorates and if any of the comments they brought back to us are actually included in the application. We also do a full technical assessment and make sure that it does hit the criteria. And all being well, it gets presented to the area committee in front of your local councillors, and it's the councillors that sort of decide whether to approve, defer or reject the application. Applicants are required to attend the area committee, and it's a good opportunity really for that group to sell themselves to the local councillors, but in addition for that, the councillors to actually meet the applicants and get a real flavour for that project and make them aware of what's going on. They probably would already know about it, but to make them aware of what's going on in other areas in their regeneration area. If it's approved, you get your terms and conditions sent out the next day, and you've got 2 years to spend it from the award date at the area committee. At the moment, we're going through a period of change in the council. And so I wish this was simple, what I'm going to sort of try to explain next, but it's not really, so if you can just bear with us. The easy bit is the criteria is that you need to have a management committee, a written constitution, or some sort of dual sort of bank account. The criteria looks at things that relate to the Sunderland strategy. Has anybody heard of the Sunderland strategy? Yeah, great. It's basically given the plan of what the local authority, but also our partners like the police, like the NHS, like the Tyne Fire Service, and what they're going to be doing in the city up until 2025, and that's split into 5 themes. And those 5 themes are prosperous, learning, safe, healthy, and attractive and inclusive. So what we'll say to groups is, if you come under one of those themes, and it's a one-off project or a new initiative or a capital, we do support revenue, but capital's preferred, or it's attracting other funding in the area and it's benefiting the local community, great, fantastic, you're hitting the criteria, and that's at the moment, and that'll remain like that until March next year. But what the new criteria is going to look like is that we don't really know, and that's where yourselves will be sort of coming a part of the process. We've got this Sunderland strategy, and a part of that we've got things that are called local area agreements. Do people know what local area agreements are? Good, because maybe you can tell me. What they basically are is a set of local priorities agreed by central government and the local authority. So that's our targets, what we've got to reach, our performance indicators and everything else. And what the local area plans are going to do is, in effect, try to translate the local area agreements and the Sunderland strategy at an area level. So what we intend to do is to go out to people like our councillors, like our partners, like residents in the area and community groups, and say to them, where you live, what are your priorities? Because the local area plans are about coming up with local solutions from local people and implementing them at a local level. So what the new criteria will look like is basically what you tell us that priority is. So that consultation process is going to be happening from October up until February. And we're hoping that in March we'll be able to collate all the information that we'll gather from yourselves, and that will set the new framework from April 2009. A little bit about the background of the community chest. It was established in 1994, and it was basically established to help community cohesion at a grassroots level. Our councillors are sort of the heart of the community, and they have a lot of knowledge and experience with community groups in their wards. So it's based on a ward level. So there's 25 wards across the city, and each ward has £10,000 on an annual basis to award to local community groups or voluntary groups that apply for funding. And it's administered by the Chief Executive's Department, and applications can range anywhere between £10,000 down to £100. Oh sorry, and it's to support one pilot or pump priming project. So to apply for community chest, very similar to the SIB, as in you need a management committee, you need a constitution, you need a dual signatory bank account. But the unique aspect about this is that you've got to go and speak to your local councillor, and you've got to approach them, and you've got to make them aware of what you want to do. And the local councillor, if they're supportive, will then give you the application form, and then present it to a community chest panel meeting. But what the councillors are looking for when you speak to them is to make sure that it does address a local need, and it is genuinely for the community. Once it's gone to a community chest panel, the 3 ward councillors for that ward will then decide on whether to approve it, reject it, or defer it for further information, or whatever it happens to be. And then, once the majority of the ward members decide how that application is handled, it then goes forward to area committee for formal endorsement. Again, similar to SIB, you have 2 years to spend the award from when the area committee date is held. I've got some examples here just so you know what community chest can be sort of used for. And just to mention that top one, what the Tyne Twigg Rescue Service used for, what they did, they actually got £12,000 in total because they applied to more than one ward. So don't just think that you can just go to one ward in your area, you can go to 4 wards or 5 wards or 6 wards or even all 25, depending on what you want to do, if it's a citywide project or not, so just something more to consider. And that's basically it. I don't know if you want us to take any questions or just be around at the end, whatever people want.